Norman as a community is dear to me, obviously, most particularly because of their support for the arts. There's an art infrastructure here, an art appreciation that is particularly unique, and the type of art that the community is exposed to, whether it's theater over at the Sooner Theater, here at Mainside Gallery, contemporary art, but also art made by local artists. And so for the people who live in Norman, I think it's a unique characteristic of the town.
But the thing that is so important about the Arts Council and what they do is that it builds a community and a quality of life and an education base for our children and for our adults that needs to be perpetuated. It needs to continue.
We have over 120 pieces of public art in the city of Norman. And for a city of 123,000 people, that is absolutely amazing. And the art that we are able to bring here now is world caliber art. We are so excited for the public art that we're installing in this community.
The new library art piece is going to be something that I think will be known around the world. And being able to commission an artist with that type of a paycheck, I guess, felt really good. I got to sit on that committee and kind of see those numbers, and that's a big deal. And it's going to be, it starts with the Arts Council and the connections that we have and the publicity that we can get by just doing what we do.
The project that I was involved with was the Public Artist Smart concerning bridges. Through the Prezi, everything was put together so nicely through technology and the arts. It just allows them a little more creativity and freedom, and I think the more times that we do that, they just shine.
A program like this, you're going to catch some of the kids that maybe you wouldn't catch before. I mean, art allows you to be expressive, and the Public Artist Smart program, it has the academic pieces, but it's all about being creative as well.
I just think anytime we give them that free rein, we're going to allow them to tap into their own gifts and just run with it. And I think that's the best thing we can do.
Second Friday Art Walks in Norman, we look forward to them as a business because we know we're going to be a little bit busier than every other Friday night. We look forward to them as a family because it's fun. It's something that all of us enjoy together, whether we're enjoying different foods or obviously buying art, just seeing people that we don't see otherwise. The vibrancy of the downtown. I wish we did it every Friday. I think in the future we could do it more, but for now it's definitely the best night in Norman.
It's really interesting. A lot of times, when people say Norman, Oklahoma, the first thing that pops into their mind is OU football. But we know through the economic impact study that we did with Americans for the Arts, that the arts in Norman generate a larger audience than an entire season of OU football. We had no idea that we were bringing over 1 million people to Norman each year for our arts and cultural events.
If we lived in a world without art, it would be a pretty desolate place. When you walk down the street and you see the bicycle racks, those are from Norman Arts Council. When you go to our parks and you see the duckies, those are the Norman Arts Council. the public art that is all over this community is Norman Arts Council, and I don't think people always equate those things with it.
We still have to raise a lot of money to keep all of these programs going. The community, the people who live here, need to understand how much we need them too. We want to make this a beautiful place for people to live, but we can't do that if the community isn't supporting us as well. We have to raise nearly 50% of our budget from individuals, and anything from $20 to $1,000 each year helps us so much.
You know, there are children in need. We have a homeless population. We have food shortages. You know, a lot of people give to animal shelters. Why do we choose the arts? Because it makes everything else worth it. It's like what you get out of bed for. What are you fighting for? What are we doing everything for? It's to be a community that has the power to support arts and artists, and then in turn has the arts to show its community so we can all enjoy it.
And I think that, you know, when we walk down the streets during Art Walk, it's kind of a time to celebrate all of that, and it's time that we start giving back to our community by giving to the arts. So it's really important.
Because I am well aware of the ravages of time. We're all going to get old, and eventually we'll pass away. And that's also what drives me to make art as well. It's the evidence that I was here.
When I think back to the stories I've heard about the history of how the Arts Council was formed and how a group of people in the community came together with this idea that we could create a sustainable public funding source for the arts in this community and how important that was. That's really special. And we're fortunate that, you know, some of those people who had that foresight are still with us today and they're still active. I think back on those who are no longer with us, and I hope that they're really proud of what they did in this community and how special it is.